Welcome to Vinyasa Flow. So we're going to start off in mountain pose. Feet nice, distance apart. And as we breathe in, we're going to reach up over our head and then fold forward, bring the hands towards the floor. Bending into the knees to roll back up to standing, raising the hands overhead. We're going to do this a number of times over the next minute. Just breathing in and out as we move up and down. We're warming up the spine and all the muscles in the back, and also opening up through the glutes and the hamstrings. Just gently bending into those knees as we reach back up. Folding forward, breathing out. Bending into the knees to roll back up to standing, raise the arms overhead. Folding forward, breathing out, reaching forward. Lifting to halfway, flattening out through the back. Fold forward. Bend into the knees to roll back up to standing. We're building in our practice now. We're adding other movements. Folding forward. Lifting to halfway. And step back with the right foot now into our lunge. You can lower that right knee to the floor. Just opening up through that left hamstring. Let's step the right foot forward again. Roll back up to standing. Raise the arms overhead. Breathing in, breathing out. Folding forward. Lifting to halfway. Flattening out through the back. Fold forward, step the left foot back into our lunge this time. Right hamstring opening up. Step the left foot forward. Bend into the knees to roll back up to standing. Raise the arms overhead. Folding forward, breathing out. Lifting to halfway. Breathing in. Step the right foot back into our lunge again. This time lifting the left hand up towards the ceiling. Opening up across the chest. Bring the hand back down. Step the right foot forward. Roll back up to standing. Fold forward. Lift to halfway. Left foot steps back. Raise the right hand up. Hand back to the floor. Step the left foot forward. Roll back up to standing. We're moving quite fast here. This is a Vinyasa flow. So building heat in the body. Halfway lift. Fold forward. Right foot steps back, left hand up. Left hand back to the floor. This time the right hand's going to come up, opening up on the other side. Right hand back to the floor, lift that knee, step that right foot forward, roll back up to standing. Raise the arms overhead, breathing out, folding down, lifting up, folding forward. Left foot steps back. Right hand lifts, opening up. Right hand to the floor, left hand lifts. Left hand back to the floor, step that left foot forward, bend into the knees, roll back up to standing, raise the arms overhead, breathing in, breathing out, folding forward. Halfway lift, folding forward, right foot steps back, left hand lifts up to the ceiling, left hand back to the floor, right hand lifts up now, right hand back to the floor, lift that right knee, left hand up, left hand back to the floor, step the right foot forward, roll back up to standing, raise the arms overhead. Folding forward, breathing in, lifting to halfway, breathing out, fold forward, left foot steps back, knee to the floor, right arm up. Right hand back to the floor, left hand lifts up. Back to the floor, take the knee off the floor, right hand up. Right hand back down. Step back into downward facing dog, lengthening through the hamstrings, walking those heels towards the floor if you need to, lengthening through the spine. Walk the feet back towards the hands, bend into knees, roll back up to standing. Raise the arms overhead, folding forward, bend into knees, jump back, plank, down, chaturanga through to cobra. Back to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Coming back to our plank, lower through chaturanga, come back through to cobra. Turn the toes in, lift back to downward facing dog. Coming forward, plank, chaturanga, cobra. Lifting up and back to downward facing dog. Step left foot forward into our lunge. Right knee on the floor, folding forward into our lizard. Coming back up onto the hands. Step that left foot back, downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward, coming into our lizard pose, folding forward, coming down onto the elbows if you can, really opening up through that right hamstring now. Into that left hip flexor, coming back up onto the hands, lift that leg, step back to downward facing dog. Don't forget to breathe, jump forward, coming into reaching high with the right hand. Lower, reach left, high hand. So we're sitting in our squat nice and deep, getting some movement in the upper body. And back to left hand lifts up. Lowering that left hand, right hand up. Right hand comes back down, left hand up. Left hand down, right hand up. Left hand up. Hand down, right hand up. One more, left hand up. Jump back, downward facing dog. If you can't jump back, just walk back. Coming into a plank, chaturanga, cobra. Back to downward facing dog. Top of the plank, chaturanga, lower down, cobra. Back to downward facing dog. Plank, chaturanga, cobra, downward facing dog. Again, up to cobra, back to downward facing dog. Let's take the left leg high, bend into the knee, open up across the hip, bring it forward into pigeon. So stepping that foot forward, coming into pigeon, lifting back to downward facing dog. We'll change sides, right leg high now, bend into that knee, then step that foot forward into pigeon on the other side. Step back to downward facing dog. Lengthening out through those hamstrings. Let's take that left leg forward, up and back into our lunge. Now we're going to do a quad stretch, so reaching back with that left hand, pulling that right foot forward if we can, really opening up that right quad. Release, step back to downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward into our lunge, reaching back for our left foot now, opening up through that left quad. If you can't reach your foot, just reach back. Downward facing dog. Plank, chaturanga, cobra. Back to downward facing dog. Chaturanga, cobra. Back to downward facing dog. Coming forward, again, back to cobra, and back to downward facing dog. Lengthening through those hamstrings. Step the left foot forward. Into our lunge, we're going to come into a bind, so dropping that left shoulder, reaching the hand through, then bring that right hand over and try and clasp the hands while balancing, pushing a lot of your weight into that front foot. Now step the right foot forward, still try and hold your bind, and now lifting through that left leg. May be tricky, you might not get through this. Just breathing, focusing, and then release the leg from the hands, grab hold of the toe if you can, and extend that leg, that left leg forward, and balance. Breathe, focus, and release. Step back into our lunge, back to downward facing dog. We're going to change sides now. So just breathing into our downward facing dog. Just step that right foot forward into our deep lunge. We're going to bring that right shoulder down below the knee, reach back, and then lift through that left shoulder, hopefully clasping those hands together. balancing on both feet, and of course stepping that left foot forward and lifting that right foot up to come into Bird of Paradise. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, this is the standing bind, and then we release the hands, grab hold of the big toe with the right hand of the right foot, right hand to right foot, extending the leg, and stepping back to our lunge, back to downward facing dog. Having a good breathe, stretch here as we come to the end of this flow. Should be nice and warm, a little bit of a challenge there. Come forward to the top of the plank. Back to downward facing dog. Walking the feet forward and roll back up to standing. Raise the arms overhead. Breathing out, hands to prayer. Thank you very much. Namaste.